Charge up your arguments and get ready to roll. Today's motion hits close to the pavement. Should riding an e-bike require a full driver's license? Are e-bikes a speedy convenience or an under-regulated hazard? One team is ready to put the brakes on freedom. The other wants the wind in their hair and no DMV in sight. Let's see who stays in their lane and who speeds to victory. This is our next motion for debate. E-bikes should require a full driver's license. We have the affirmative side that agrees with this motion, and we have the negative side that is in disagreement with this motion. Again, just as you saw from the teams before you, I'm going to give the affirmative side 2 minutes for their opening speech. I will then move to the negative side for the same thing. From there, we will go back and forth where each member will have a chance to speak for up to 90 seconds. In between all of those speeches, if anybody from the opposing side would like to speak in form of a rebuttal or have any arguments for what you heard, you may do so at that time. If you are all set, we'll go ahead and begin. The affirmative side first. Your first speaker has up to 3 minutes, and you may begin now.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and fellow debaters, welcome. Today, we stand firmly on the proposition side, arguing that e-bike use should require a full license. My name is Natalie, and I'm joined by my brilliant teammates, Maddie, Liam, and Josh. Together, we'll be presenting 4 key reasons why licensing is not just necessary, but crucial. Now, I will begin my first argument. We've all seen them, those sleek, fast-moving electric bikes flying through our streets and sidewalks. They seem fun, even harmless, but what we're not noticing is the danger hiding behind them. Our team's first statement, which I'll be presenting today, is the rising number of injuries caused by e-bikes. According to the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission, nearly 46% of all e-bike injuries from 2017 to 2022 happened in just 2022 alone. That same agency reported 233 deaths linked to e-bikes and similar devices. Additionally, according to the Nature Injury Lawyers, over 53,000 emergency room visits were caused by e-bikes in those same 5 years. These aren't scraped knees. We're talking brain injuries, broken bones, lives changed forever, and most of these victims, they're kids. Requiring a license won't erase every accident, but it could mean one less family in an emergency room, one less child in a hospital bed, one more life that gets to keep going. So don't wait for tragedy to knock on your door. Don't wait for more families to mourn a loss we could have prevented. Let's be the generation that chose responsibility over regret, that chose to act before it was too late. So please, make e-bike licenses mandatory, because every crash we prevent is a future we protect. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opening statement from the affirmative side. We now go over to the negative side. You have up to 3 minutes for your opening remarks, and you may begin now.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. My name is Aiden. I will be presenting with my partner, Carl and Andy. Our group consists of me, Carl, Jaden, Kago, and Liam. Our topic is e-bikes should require driver's license, but we disagree. One of our main points is on why driver's license shouldn't be necessary is transportation. E-bikes allow many people to get around quickly, and if e-bikes require driver's license, kids and senior citizens lose a great transportation option. Our second point is that e-bikes max out at 20 miles per hour, which a normal biker can reach quite easily. The average biker speed is 15 to 20 miles per hour. Finally, our last point is how it helps beginners learn how to bike with pedal assist and throttle. If driver's license are required, beginners will struggle more on learning how to bike, and that is all. Thank you.
Thank you very much to the negative side for your opening remarks. We will go back to the affirmative side. Any reply to what you've just heard before your next speaker? You can go ahead, whoever would like to speak first.
So you're saying that transportation matters, but we can't risk people's safety for their transportation. I mean, transportation should not come at the cost of broken bones, brain injuries, and lives cut short. Each person hurt or killed in an accident is a painful reminder of how we, as a society, fail to protect one another, how we fail to act when it mattered most. Do you want to live with that? To know that we could have saved countless lives? To know that we were too late? No, of course not. So join me. We've been doing nothing for too long. If we don't act now, we'll be the generation that watched lives slip away, knowing that we had the power to save them.
Also, you said that e-bikes only go 20 miles per hour. That's actually not true. Class 3 e-bikes can go 28 miles per hour on throttle only, which is the same speed as a regular moped.
Well, actually, Class 3 e-bikes aren't allowed until you're 16, so we wouldn't be able to use them. Also, Natalie just said,
Natalie, you say that brain injuries happen or like broken bones, but sometimes, honestly, e-bikes when they're driving, also drivers with driver's license crash into them, causing those accidents, causing for them and the biker to go to the hospital.
True, while many e-bike accidents are caused by the drivers, if we know that these e-bike riders are surrounded by these fast, heavy, and big vehicles, doesn't that make it even more important that riders are properly trained and prepared? We can't control how drivers drive, but we can control how prepared e-bike riders are to protect themselves. It only takes one mistake, one missed sign, one misunderstanding of a rule, and a small situation could turn fatal. So, if the roads are dangerous, we should be doing absolutely everything in our power to keep everyone safe, especially young and exposed riders.
Thank you so much. Affirmative side will now go to our next speaker. You have 90 seconds for your next remarks, and your 90 seconds begins now.
Hello everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Maddie. I'll be speaking on the safety concerns surrounding e-bikes and why we believe a full driver's license is required to use them. In recent years, e-bike accidents have increased significantly, largely because many e-bikes range up to speed of 28 miles per hour, fast enough to cause serious harm, especially on hills or some without traffic drain. For young riders, this speed can be difficult to control, and without formal education on road safety, risk only grow. According to sources like Wired and Medium, children simply don't have the physical, mental, or cognitive maturity to operate high-speed motor vehicles. Additionally, the National Institute of Mental Health states that the brain doesn't fully develop till the late 20s, the prefrontal cortex, the area responsible for decision-making being the last to mature. This means a 16-year-old would be more capable of handling an e-bike responsibly, while younger children whose brains are developing could make unsafe decisions. By acquiring a driver's license, we ensure riders understand traffic rules, develop safe habits, and are prepared to handle the responsibility of sharing the road. This could significantly reduce injuries, accidents, making our streets safer for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Affirmative side for your next remarks. Any responses to what you've just heard from the negative side before your next speaker? Okay, then we go to your next speaker. You have 90 seconds, and your time begins now.
As you all know, my name is Carl, and I want to add more to what Aiden had just said. I believe that e-bikes should not require driver licenses because they allow for better transportation. You can even carry a large amount of cargo with e-bikes, which you can't do with a normal bike. According to the website Richmond e-bikes are not restricted to roads, like cars. Some people say it needs driver licenses because they look like and are similar to motorcycles, but are they? I don't think so. E-bikes are similar to normal bikes, and saying e-bikes should require driver licenses is basically saying you need a driver license to ride a normal bike, which doesn't really make sense. And also, in California, e-bikes don't violate the regulations because they're treated like a normal bike. E-bikes pretty much go at the same speed as a normal bike, which my teammates Jane and Kago will talk more about later.
Thank you so much to the negative side. We go back to the affirmative side. Do you have any responses to this? Go right ahead.
You say that e-bikes are like regular bikes, like for example Class 1 e-bikes because they're pedal assist. But let's not confuse familiarity with safety. Class 1 e-bikes can still reach up to 20 miles per hour, which is a lot faster than how most riders go on a normal bike. Once you're moving at those speeds through roads and traffic, the risks are real. And when an accident happens, it doesn't matter in the end whether it was Class 1, 2, or 3 involved. We're trying to equip all e-bike riders with the knowledge they need to know, including those who drive an e-bike similar to normal bikes. Because once a bike has a motor, no matter how it's activated, it changes the dynamics of how it behaves in traffic. It goes faster, it takes longer to stop. So it's 100% necessary to create a policy that states, if you're riding a motorized vehicle on the road, you need to prove that you understand the rules. We're not trying to make things unfair. We're trying to save lives, even just a few. And if a simple license helps even one person, then it's more than fair. It's essential.
They're saying driver's license. If someone driving an e-bike has a driver's license, they can just ride safely. They know all the traffic laws.
Well, when you're getting a license, you are learning about traffic signals, traffic signs, and it's through a process of learning and demonstration.
Yes, but driver's license takes a long time to get, and you have to be 18
You have to be 16 to get a driver's license.
for a full driver's license.
Yes, but it does just because it takes a long time, it can still save many lives. That's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to save lives.
Or you can just get proper education. You don't need a driver's license.
Education could be a good option, but how do we know that they're going to fully understand the knowledge? I mean, a full license isn't earned by reading an article or taking an online quiz.
But even people that do have driver's license still break the traffic laws.
A license holds you accountable for that. And
All right, we'll go ahead and move to our next speaker for the affirmative side. You have 90 seconds and your time begins now.
Hello everyone, thank you for coming here today. I'm Liam.
And I'm Josh. Today we're going to make one simple but vital point. A license proves we understand the rules of the road.
We can't just hand children e-bikes and hope for the best. This isn't just about transportation. It's about safety, responsibility, and preparation for the future.
Before a child rides an e-bike, they must know how to ride it. They must understand the rules. This isn't an option, it's a necessity.
According to the California DMV, in order to fully obtain a license, you need to pass certain tests, like a knowledge test and a vision test. These evaluations are proof that they have what it takes to stay safe.
We wouldn't put a driver behind a wheel of a car without the proper trainings. Why would we risk our child's safety on an e-bike without the same preparation?
We believe it's time to design a licensing program made specifically for e-bikes. It doesn't need to mirror car licensing. We can make it affordable, even free, so that families of all incomes have access.
Let's stop assuming and start ensuring. Let's protect your children, their future, and their safety.
Thank you.
You are talking about cars,
Yeah.
but we're talking about e-bikes here.
Yes, we're saying that driver's license can prove that they understand the rules of the road, but we can make a license specific to e-bikes. So that's it.
Thank you very much to the affirmative side. We go back to the negative side. Any responses to this?
Yeah, so did all car drivers who has a license are driving safety? No. So in 5 years, for example, in 5,930,000 accidents happen per year in America. It's just so many abroad. It's not evidence that if you get a license, then it's gonna be safe. It just make evidence that it's harder to get e-bikes.
Yeah, license, it's not fully going to protect you, but license shows that you understand the rules. It's like saying at a seatbelt, you're not going to wear it because it doesn't protect you against every car crash.
So if you get a license, if you need to get a license, then it's gonna be harder to get the e-bikes. But for example, education can be more good for option.
From my experience in school, a lot of kids don't even pay attention to anything they say. A license proves you understand, like a parking test that shows that you understand. Education is just like what Alex is taking a quiz. You don't truly learn from that because you have to show.
Running, how to handle speed, like braking, how to stop e-bikes, how to make a speed, how to stop. You can learn education. It's not problem on license or education. It's how children studies private program. So it's not involved with this.
Thank you very much. Negative side, you have 90 seconds now for your next speaker, and your time begins now.
As Aiden said earlier, our second point is that e-bikes have low speeds. According to peopleforbikes.org, Class 1 and Class 2 e-bikes, the only types legally allowed for people under 16, can only go up to 20 miles per hour. And guess what? The average biking speed is 15 miles per hour. In fact, according to Upway United States, professional cyclists can reach 25 to 31 miles per hour. If both e-bikes and normal bikes pretty much have the same speed, what's the point of requiring a full driver's license? And I'm sure you all know, to get a driver's license, you have to be at least 18. So kids like us wouldn't even be able to get one even if we wanted to. Then, it requires 6 whole months minimum of studying, fees, paperwork, not to mention stress and long wait times, just to ride on an electric bike that goes at the same speed as a normal bike. It's understandable if it goes as fast as a motorcycle, which maxes out at 150 miles per hour, but it literally tops at 20. Requiring a license for something so slow just doesn't make sense. Okay, go.
Thank you, Jaden. My name is Kego. According to Orange County Transport Authority, bikes are generally classified as normal bikes. They must follow the same regulation as the normal bikes. These include biking and bike everything, then water, brands, helmets, and proper bike equipment, such as same with normal bicycle. Then what's the difference with bicycle? All of these rules and regulations are wrong for e-bikes to bike safety. On the other hand, electric scooters are required. Scooters are in similar situation to e-bikes. For currently, no license is required. If we want to introduce license for e-bikes, shouldn't we do speed rating from 15 to, shouldn't we decrease license for electric scooters? Electric scooters generally have top speed ranging from 15 to 30 miles per hour. In addition, according to Cabo USA electric scooters, the working city Pro electric scooters can reach speed up to 100 miles per hour. Your car doesn't make sense. License punishes the poor and have nobody. Most riders are just trying to get to work or school. Why are you making life harder for the people who need affordable transportation the most?
All right, thank you so much. The negative side. We go back to the affirmative side. I know we've heard from all four of you, but you do have another 90 seconds, or you can go ahead and respond to anything that you've just heard. Go right ahead.
This topic is about e-bikes, not e-scooters. So are we talking about e-scooters?
So, you guys need to show you what's the line. What's the law of your, what's the rule of your that you are climbing. So, if electric scooters doesn't license, then why are you saying e-bikes need a license?
We're not talking about electric scooters. We're talking about e-bikes. If this was about electric scooters and e-bikes, that would be a different story. But right now, we're just talking about e-bikes.
I think his question is that since scooters don't require a driver's license that go the same speed, why are we asking that we get bikes that go the same speed to get a license if we're talking about speed? Is that correct, Kago?
Yes.
Well, that's because we see e-bikes on the road, but we don't see scooters on the road. And so we see e-bikes going through traffic, and so we need to make sure that they understand everything.
If we need to understand how driving or how to control e-bikes, then you don't need to make a license that is so hard to get. If you make a license, then you need the exam, and you need to pay money, and you need to do lots of work. But for example, education can get lessons for just like free, and it can make it more easier to get the e-bike.
Would you want to write something that's varied? Would you want to get something without knowing anything about it? Like, how do I say it?
You say that it should be easier to get. So what you're trying to say is you want them to be more accessible? But that can't come at the cost of broken bones, brain injuries, and lives being cut short.
So I'm talking about is how can easy to learn and how can easy to control. But if you say license is carrier, then it's very hard to learn and it's very hard to it's harder to understand it. For example, you need to pay like $100 for getting study and getting lessons. For example, education can do just for free. So kind for who's the poor and who needs the most transportation like e-bikes.
Like I said, license proves you understand because you have to have something like a test. Like education, you can just like take a quiz or something like that. Natalie said that a license proves that you understand by showing that you understand.
You said that a license costs $100. Can you please tell me your reputable source?
It's just an example, so you don't need to care about that. You can, but like all car drivers need to pay some fee for a lesson. school, then it's very hard to get it. For example, like if you go, so e-bikes can drive easily by explaining, by your understanding.
Thank you. We're going to come over here to the affirmative side. Your 90 seconds. I know you're missing a person today. Are you going to, would you like to use the 90 seconds to speak on their behalf?
The average weight of an e-bike is 70 pounds, which is way heavier than the average of a normal bike. So you're going a lot faster, but also it's way heavier. So this thing's
Thank you very much, affirmative side. We come back over to the negative side. Your next speaker, you have 90 seconds, and your 90 seconds begins now.
Hello, my name is Lynn, and our third point is that it helps make people able to ride bikes easily. If e-bikes require a driver's license, it limits people who aren't able to get a driver's license, and biking is less enjoyable. Compared to motorbikes, e-bikes are much more easier to ride because of the pedal assistant as well. It's not difficult to go uphill, but compared to a normal bike, beginners struggle a lot with the pedals. If riders are going long distances, they don't get tired easily and are able to travel in a short amount of time. Also, riders don't have to worry about slowing down or stopping in case of an emergency. E-bikes give confidence, and if you practice every day, biking will become easy and enjoyable.
Thank you very much to the negative side. Any responses to that affirmative side?
You said that we don't have to worry about slowing down. What do you mean by that?
Well, because it might be,
Because e-bikes take longer to stop than regular bikes.
Okay, we will now move into any closing arguments that you'd like to make. This time we're going to start with the negative side. Negative side, you'll have 2 minutes. You can speak to the other group here. You can allow them to respond if you'd like, or you can speak to the audience. Or you can go ahead and pass if you are complete with all of your arguments. But your closing statement, you have 2 minutes. Any one of you can speak. Multiple of you can speak. And your 2 minutes begins now.
So you can say e-bikes are heavier than normal bicycles, so it's harder to stop. Yeah, I can understand. But weight doesn't equal danger. A free grocery or something that is heavy in bike can be heavier than a normal e-bike. What obvious is how well the rider follows those rules. And again, these rules already exist. We don't need a license to enforce basic safety.
If a child weighs, let's say, 100 pounds and an e-bike is 70 pounds, the weight difference is 30 pounds. And if you're going 20 miles per hour and you're weaving through traffic and cars, when you turn, the weight goes this way. I've ridden an e-bike before and they're super heavy. So it's just different than a normal bike because the weight and you're going fast, it's just...
Then you can choose more easier drive for you. You say there's a 100 pounds, but for example, if it's more easy to control, it's a more greater than it's a heavier, then e-bikes can be controlled more than easy. You have it, so there's many kinds of e-bikes, so pick one that is not controlled. You can control it easily.
I remember somebody here saying that e-bikes are great transportation, but they're not the only way. You can take a bus to school, you can ride a normal bike. I mean, e-bikes are the only option for transportation.
Well, bikes are actually good for the environment. They're clean. And buses cost money. Buses cost money.
Okay, negative side, we're going to go now over to the affirmative side for your final 2 minutes. You can use this 2 minutes to speak to your audience, to the other side, or just make some final arguments, however you'd like. Your 2 minutes begins now.
We're not trying to restrict kids of an e-bike. We're just trying to make sure that they know the rules of the road so that they have a future ahead of them, so they can so they can graduate college and not have like a leg cut off from like an e-bike injury. All we want to do is to know that they know how to control what they're riding.
Do you yield the rest of your time or any final statements you'd like to make? All right, on that case, let's go ahead and hear from both sides. For motion number 2, e-bikes should require a full driver's license. Let's hear it for the affirmative side and for the negative side.
All right, once again, congratulations to you both. Fantastic. I love the way that you guys went at it back and forth. Really sounded professional. Terrific job to both of you. Probably, again, some of the betters that I've heard in all the years of doing this. Audience, we're going to turn it over to you one more time. Going to ask the affirmative and the negative side to go ahead and put your heads down. Please remember the 3 things that you are taking into consideration. Professionalism. Did they sound professional, speak professional, look professional? Number 2, having their support and factual information and relevant information to support the arguments that they are making. And number 3, their delivery, their showmanship, their way to grab you in and to convince you to one side or the other. I'll remind you once again, the motion is that e-bikes should require a driver's license. Agreeing with that is the affirmative side, and that affirmative side consists of Natalie, Madison, Liam, and I want to say, is this Victor here? No, sorry, Joshua. Over here to the negative side, they disagree with the statement. They think that e-bikes should not require a driver's license. We have Aiden, Carl, Andy, Jaden, Kago, and Lean. Sorry. All right. If you agree with the affirmative side that they met those 3 requirements and that they are the winners of this debate, first off, let me ask you to close your eyes. Thank you very much. If you feel that the affirmative side is the winner of this debate with the strongest arguments and the most professionalism, please raise your hands now. Thank you very much. If you agree or if you believe that the negative side, disagreeing with this motion, gave the strongest arguments, most professional, and delivery, please raise your hand. Thank you very much. You put your hands down. Debaters, if you want to raise your heads up now, I want to again remind you of what an amazing job you both did. You had multiple votes for both sides, again attesting to just how prepared and how well you delivered these speeches. Of course, there can only be one winner of this debate. So the winner of motion number 2, put your hands together for the affirmative side. Very well done. Debaters, if you can put your hands and come on down. God, let's hear it for them. They did such an amazing job today. GG. Both groups 8. Thank you so much. We are going to a recess break right now. Our next debate will begin in about 12 minutes. Don't worry, class. The only thing they'll do between debates and run is I'm just going to give you a lot of open and outside playtime. Bird out there. What is that?
It's you.
What is it? I don't know what.
It's a bird.
But there's a ton of them.
It's called a bird.
It's right there in front of the car. What is that?